Hey y'all, here's your second chance, your second invitation and opportunity to walk with me. I am, of course, in Tulsa, and it is just a gorgeous day out today. Really loving the opportunity to be outside, to get some sunshine and fresh air and some movement. So I hope you'll consider joining me, especially if the weather is nice wherever you are, whenever you're watching this. So today I want to talk about this concept of mindfulness and how mindfulness can really be integrated into everything that we're going through right now. So, what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is this experience. It's a practice of living in the present moment. So when we talk about meditation, often what we're trying to do is cultivate this practice or this ongoing experience. We're trying to tap in and tune in to this thing that we call mindfulness, right? So meditation not just being something that we do on a cushion or on the mat, but we want that to be an experience that is ongoing. And so when I teach meditation, it's cool. I was just looking at a calendar last week and realized that this is the 1-year mark that Be Love, one of the yoga studios where I teach, we've been offering a weekly meditation class for the last year as of May 1st. So that's exciting, and I love that. And so I've been teaching this ongoing meditation class at both our Tulsa and our Jinx studios. And one point that I've made time and time again is that we're not meditating for the sake of becoming good at meditating. That's not the goal. That's not the intention. We're not trying to become good at something. What we're trying to do is become more awake and more aware, more alive in each moment, okay? So that being said, that is mindfulness. I think in a nutshell, that's mindfulness. Being able to live here and now in this present moment. It sounds so simple because it is so simple, right? But there is a difference between something that is simple and something that is easy, right? So mindfulness is a very simple thing, but it is not a very easy thing. Because what you will experience if you've ever tried meditating or practicing mindfulness in any way, what you'll notice very quickly is that our mind tends to wander and drift. And it's actually, because living in the moment is a skill, right? And so the reality is, this is a skill that most of us have not been practicing for most of our lives. And so it's just going to take some time, right? It's just like building a muscle. It takes repetition and it takes time and endurance and practice, etc., etc. So mindfulness. I want to talk about mindfulness today because mindfulness is this really beautiful gift that will so enhance the quality of your life. Because what we're doing here, when we think about heavy emotions, okay, let's think about heavy feelings. I'm going to specifically use anxiety and depression as examples. Anxiety is this experience of our mind projecting forward, right? We're anticipating something that has not yet come and might not come. We don't know. But it's something in the future, right? That's what anxiety is. It's fear and concern and worry of future events. Depression and that sort of heaviness that comes from depression is often, and I will be careful to say often, but it's often associated with events in the past. Okay? So it's past regrets, or it's past traumas, or it's past events. Whatever the event is, it's something that happened in the past. Okay? Really hope this wind isn't too strong in the AirPods here. So, okay, so what I'm saying is anxiety is about the future, and depression and heaviness is mostly about the past. So when we're here in the present moment, there's much less drama, there's much less chaos, and there's much more peace, and there's much more simplicity here in the present moment. Because here's the thing. Right now, my present experience is that I am on a walk on a beautiful day, receiving the sunshine, getting some fresh air, getting some movement, having a chance to connect with you guys. So it's a nice experience, isn't it? My present moment experience is actually pretty nice. But the thing is, if I'm not conscious and if I'm not careful with my mind and with where it goes, where it drifts and where it wanders, I can get pulled into future concerns, right? That could be 2 seconds from now, 2 hours from now, 2 days from now, 2 years from now, 2 decades from now, right? Anything in the future. I can easily get pulled into future concerns or future possible dramas. Likewise, I can easily get pulled back into the past, thinking about a regret or thinking about, just something that's happened in the past. And so what happens if I go in either of those directions, it robs me and it steals the peace that I could have in this present moment if I'm just right here, right now, just having this experience. And so a lot of times mindfulness, especially when it's presented like that, it can be presented as like a magic pill or like the ultimate solution. And so, when I'm teaching about mindfulness, I think it is really good and really healthy for me to provide the disclaimer that not every moment, right, when we're settled into the present moment and just being here now, not every moment that you're ever going to experience is going to be peaceful and calm and tranquil. You're going to have hard experiences, of course, but the power of mindfulness is that you're able to release and let go of a lot of the extra drama and the extra energy that comes from not being grounded in this present moment. So, mindfulness. There's a lot more that I could say, and I think I'll say one more thing. At least one more thing. We're only at the 9-minute mark, so maybe this will be about a 20-minute video, we'll see. But there's this concept of stories, and the stories that we tell ourselves, the stories that are the storylines that are constantly running in our heads. So one of my favorite teachers, she is a Buddhist nun in Nova Scotia, and her name is Pema Chodron. And she has this phrase. It's just 2 sentences, and it just sums it all up so nicely. What she says is, feel the feelings, drop the story. That's it. Okay, that's her instruction. It's so simple, and it's so profound, because here's what will happen. Like, for example, this morning, I'll use myself as an example, and I'll use this morning as an example. I was sitting in my apartment after practicing a little bit of yoga, and I was meditating for a period of time. And as I was sitting there in seated meditation, I started feeling some things. I started feeling my feelings. And that is one of the biggest things that I'm encouraging people to do at this point in time, is to feel your feelings. Because there's a lot of fear and anxiety and stress. And a lot of times for a lot of us, what we'll do when we're in heavy or hard experiences is we'll kind of like do our best to avoid or ignore or numb or just run away from those emotions. And really nothing good comes of that long term. I mean, like short term, there are points in time where it's okay to numb and it's okay to like cope, even if it's not using the best coping skills or coping strategies, because we're just trying to survive. But long term, we definitely want to be able to feel these things, because if we don't feel them, they're not going anywhere. Like they're just gonna sit there and they're gonna fester, and it's just like anything that just sits around and festers. It doesn't go away. It doesn't get any better. It's the opposite. It just gets worse. And at some point down the road, there's going to be a reckoning, and we're going to have to deal with these feelings or these experiences or whatever is going on inside. So, understandably, we can be scared of feeling these things, because the truth is, when we start to slow down and we start to feel our feelings, we don't know what's going to happen. We have no idea. We have no idea what's going to come up. We have no idea how it's going to feel. We have no idea how long it's going to last. So it's scary. It's scary for me, It's scary for all of us. Maybe not all the time, but sometimes for sure. So, I'll just say, lately, the last few weeks, I have been numbing out, like watching more Netflix, like just doing whatever I can. I haven't been slowing down as much to just be present with myself and my feelings. So this morning was just a really lovely opportunity and a lovely practice of just sitting there and just being the observer, just noticing what comes up, what arises, and then just being present with that. And this is the beautiful thing, and this is what I really want to touch on today, is when we are just present with whatever we're feeling, that feeling really doesn't last very long. So the thing is that thoughts and feelings just come and go. They come quickly and they leave just as quickly, if we allow them to. Go ahead and turn around here. What often happens is we get stuck in the feeling or in the thought. And how we get stuck is because we get stuck in a storyline, okay? So we each have our own sets of beliefs and storylines that we have been creating throughout our whole lives. We have storylines that we've created today, and we have storylines that have been ongoing for most all of our lives. So some are definitely more prone to entangle us than others. But this is what happens, is I'm just going to use meditation for an example, because that's the example that I'm using right now. But so we can have this experience in meditation where we're just sitting there, and then these feelings arise, and what happens is the mind starts to get involved, and we start to attach these feelings to ongoing storylines and ongoing dramas, right? So this is no longer us just being in the present moment, right? This is no longer us just feeling whatever this feeling is. Because the truth is, my teachers have told me, and I've found this to be pretty true, if we can just be present with an emotion and not get attached to a storyline, that emotion, that feeling will pass within 90 seconds, right? So it's a pretty quick process. I don't want to say that as if that's like an ultimate truth, because it might be around longer, but the point is, like, things come and go pretty quickly, and this is what a meditation practice teaches us and really highlights, is impermanence, and is the power of things just coming and going and constantly changing. So, okay, the storyline. So the analogy that I often use in the meditation classes is that if you were to sit by a river or a bank of water and just you're just watching the water, right? And so as you sit there as the observer, you will periodically notice that there are twigs or sticks that float on by and drift on by. And I liken these sticks or these twigs to our thoughts, right? So they just come and go. They just pass. They leave just as they came, just that steady flow. However, the twig will stick around if we reach down and grab it and then hold on to it and then, carry it with us. That's how things get stuck, right? But there's a natural flow to things where things can just go just as they came. And so this is the kind of flow that we want to be able to tap into. I'm not saying that we always need to live in this state, because I definitely don't. So I'm not holding you or anyone to that standard of saying that we should always be completely in the present moment. But this is a practice, and it's something that it's a direction that we can move toward. And it's a very powerful practice, and it is such an effective tool for decreasing all of these, things that we're experiencing right now. Fear, anxiety, depression, stress. It's about coming back into this present moment. And so there are so many different tools and exercises as far as like learning how to practice mindfulness and to practice meditation and all of these techniques. But what I'll tell you, just a few more minutes, I think the two greatest allies and the two greatest gifts that we have in this lifetime, as far as being able to root us and ground us in the present moment, it's our breath and our body. Okay, so these two things are aspects of our existence that are always rooted, always here in the present moment, right? They're never going to drift to the future. They're never going to go back to the past. They're always in the present moment. So anytime that you are overwhelmed or anxious or stressful or stressed, any of these things that we're talking about, anytime, trying to block out the wind, anytime you feel any of these things, two things you can come back to. You can come to your breath, you can come to your body, because these are anchors that keep you in the present moment. So I teach a number of different breathing exercises, and it's just a personal preference. People find their own personal favorites, but it's just the power of the breath, right? So it could be as simple as literally just coming to your breath and bringing your attention, right, bringing your focus and your mind back to your breath, because what we're trying to do in these practices is reel in the mind that's drifting away, that's wandering away, that's going, that's spiraling, that's going in a bit of a tizzy. We want to reel it in and give the mind something to focus on that is here in the present moment, and so that can be the breath. The simplest exercise, you inhale through your nose, and each time you inhale, you say to yourself in your head, in, and then you exhale through your nose, and every time you exhale, you say to yourself, out. That's the most simple form of meditation. You breathe in, you say in, you breathe out, you say out. You do that for a few minutes. It works. It's effective. Anytime you notice your mind drifting away, you're thinking about something else, you just come back to the breath. In, out. And it's the same thing with your body. Your body is always anchored in the present moment, so there's lots of good coping skills and techniques related to coming back into your body, right? In our society and in our culture, we spend a lot of time in our head, up here and not so much time like in the body. And so we want to, or we can, learn to shift and spend more time in the body. Again, the body being something that's always anchored in the here and now. And so that can be, you know, really simple exercises. You can YouTube things like the body scan meditation, or the 61-point relaxation technique, or the yoga nidra, or I-rest meditation. Any of those sorts of things that will start to bring your awareness back into your body. And we can definitely do some of those exercises in the future. But for today, it's been 20 minutes. So thank you so much for joining me on this walk. I hope you all keep taking good care of yourselves and take good care of each other. Love you.